Unravel the mystery. Nancy Guthrie's case sparks more questions than answers.
I get a break from switching videos. All right, let's go. Thank you, Indy. Big hugs to you. All right, so let's see what they think. This is what I think.
Stunning update in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. A source tells Fox News that these two images captured on the doorbell camera, look closely at both of these. Do they look like the same person? Might have been from separate dates. Here to react, the Wounded Blue founder and retired police lieutenant, Randy Sutton. Good morning to you, Randy.
Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. So what do you think about those images? 2 different days? Are they the same person?
I don't think so.
I don't believe they are the same person, and I'll tell you why.
All right, so I just stopped there for a second, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button, get yourself a membership. Remember, we're doing giveaways. I've got a stack of books. I'd like to do a giveaway if we can get to the goal. We have 260 people in here, and we're going to be here for a while, so hit that like button. I'm going to give 5 memberships in a bit, and I'm so glad that this guy and 5-10 other people are saying they don't think this is the same person that came back. They think it's multiple people.
If you look at, I've seen other photographs, and in fact, a military expert on infrared shared with me some information concerning a carbon footprint of his footwear, and which demonstrates that they are different shoes. So either he changed his shoes or this is a separate person. I think it's something that needs to be examined. I'm sure the FBI has all the resources to do that if they haven't done it already. But if in fact this was a second a visit to this residence, it would be chilling, but it would also not explain what happened with the Ring doorbell. If he did a recon on the home, he would have seen the Ring doorbell and come equipped to.
There you go. Ding, 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 guys. If he'd have came back the day before or on February 11th, like they say, why in the hell would he walk up there like he was going to knock and then say, oh, shoot. And this is just me narrating what he's saying in his head. Shit. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to go grab the shrubbery. He would already know that it was there. And like I said, the height, the weight, the way they walk, one's lanky, one's bulky. Those are not the same people. And I don't know if FBI is just not telling us because they don't want to let the cat out of the bag and let these people know that they know how many people, but it's not good.
Deal with it rather than deal with a plant situation.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a little incongruous.
Okay, well, that makes sense that it could be 2 separate days or 2 different people because the equipment he's wearing in one shot is different than the equipment he's wearing. Like he has the holster in one shot and he has the backpack in one shot. The other shot, they look like the same build. They look like they're the same height. But I understand your expert friend looked at the infrared and said the footprint might be different, and you've shared that information with the FBI. But right after this video was released, do you remember we had all those experts on that know a lot about Ring cameras? And they said that whatever video was released, that was the last snapshot of what was.
Now, also remember, guys, there's a lot of things they're not telling us. But remember, the people or person or persons that were in the house were there for around 41 minutes. And FBI or Pima County did not tell us that there was an area that was broken into, which a source told Ashley Banfield that the back door was left wide open, but there was also a point of entry where it looked like somebody pried their way or broke their way in. Now, we're not seeing those things in reports because it's a source, but that would mean a whole different thing in this case. And I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole right now because there's similar cases in this Arizona area that could be the same type of thing that's been happening, but I just don't want to throw a curveball that hard.
Found what was seen at her front door. So if it's 2 different days, why would we have both shots?
No, that's really the $64,000 question.
Yeah.
And why is it being released now? If the the FBI was the one who developed the information to begin with. You'll remember that the sheriff stated in an early press conference that there was no captured video from that Ring camera, from that Nest camera, and then that turned out to be information that was
And remember, this is also messing our timeline up. Okay. So as we're covering this case and everybody else that's covering this case, now we're confused about the timeline even more. And we'll go over that after this. All right. So today we're talking about what if this was never about a ransom? DNA is a possible failure, $1 million reward, and what that actually was for, and the new search efforts for Nancy Guthrie. All right. And the obvious, are those people the same people that came on a different day, the same person that came on a different day, or are they multiple people?
Was wrong. But the FBI is the one who developed this information. So they're the ones that have this info, and they're keeping it very close to the vest. And quite honestly, I think it's time for them to come forward. We haven't seen anything from the FBI at all, and they are really very, very involved in this investigation. I would like to see some commentary from the SAC.
Yeah, I wish we would see another press conference. Thank you so much, Lieutenant, for coming on with us. We do want to read this statement before we sign off here from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. There is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore,
and again, the people are asking, why are they not coming out and saying anything? Well, they have, and what have they told us? Anybody? Nothing. We've got nothing burgers. This sheriff is going around doing these private interviews, not giving a press conference, but he's also not answering any of our questions. He completely just dances around everything and anything that you ask him. And I'll just read the statement for you. He's saying there's no date. Now, remember, this is the sheriff that botched from the beginning, went to a basketball game and tried to blame a death on why he wasn't, why it was messed up. There's no date or stamp associated with any of these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. I want you to see that. This is coming from Pima County now telling us that these aren't even coming on separate days, and we're speculating that. So what he's telling us is nothing. He's not telling us there might be a second or third person. This was from a different day, so it could, maybe the people came back to check. He literally just told us everything we've been talking about today is just speculation. Well, that's why he's not talking, because he's not telling us anything. Sunshine Lady says, Jay, love your humor. You make me laugh. Well, thank you so much for that super sticker, my friend. All right, let's continue. Yes. Where'd you go, Queen of Moods? One person was hunched over, easy to do. But the stature of the person being hunched over versus the other, we're going to continue going on there. Yeah, one has a small collar. We looked at them side by side. Sheriff should have turned this, I agree, over to the FBI when they knew it wasn't a missing persons case. I agree. But they're still not letting us know much of anything, folks. All right, so let's pull this down. And I want you guys to see, we talked about red herrings in the very beginning. What red herrings are Pima County and FBI throwing at us? And in my opinion, when I ask you the question, is this case even about a ransom? I don't think so. I've said that from the beginning. I don't think this was supposed to be a kidnapping. It wasn't a robbery gone wrong. And the ransom note was an afterthought, which is not possible to have an afterthought when you're doing an organized kidnapping. So were the ransom notes just red herrings? Let's talk about that.
Special agent and principal training advisor with the USCCA. Rob, welcome back. Good morning. Always good to see you.
Good morning, Anna.
You heard the latest report. What's your reaction to the police now suggesting that there might have been multiple accomplices?
Well, it's not a surprising, announcement. I mean, certainly we know that she was taken from that home. We know that she was injured when she left that home. And so, it wouldn't surprise me at all if there was someone else involved in this. What's clear and what has been clear to many of us from the beginning was this was never, I don't believe ever, a true kidnapping for ransom case. And it also almost certainly wasn't a, nighttime burglary gone wrong. Like that just doesn't happen statistically, not, residential burglary.
So let's just think about that for a moment altogether. If it was neither one of those things, and this is a rhetorical question we'll try to answer by the end of the episode. If it wasn't for a ransom, if it wasn't a kidnapping, and it wasn't for a robbery, then what do you have left? What is the motive in this case for what's happening, right? I'm about to give some membership. I'm going to gift 5 memberships. So do me a favor, guys. Make sure your gifting membership is on. All right. Let's continue. Are they actually the red herrings? These ransom notes?
Burglaries happen during the day when residents are typically at work. Business burglaries happen at night. So this person who showed up at that house, I believe, was there, to do something. We don't know what. They were inside that house for far too long for it to have been a planned kidnapping. And then, of course, we've had absolutely no sign of life, no proof of life, I should say. And the ransom demands that have been submitted through the media sources, I've always believed are at best a red herring and more likely just outsiders inserting themselves, opportunists, so to speak, trying to collect on this, high profile story.
Rob,
and guys, the whole time I've been trying to figure out what these red herrings are in the case. There's a lot of them sprinkled throughout. I mean, one of them could absolutely be the fact that they're coming to us now and saying, well, this was a different day. And then Pima County tells us, no, that's not confirmed. That's just speculation, right? They're just throwing stuff out there. But I thought I just gifted 5 memberships. I did. Danielle, welcome to the crime crew. Queen of Moods, welcome. Danny C, Patricia LG, and Logan Lafferty, welcome to Crime Crew Official. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's continue.
at the very beginning, you've said this case is atypical. It's unusual.